Hey guys, how you going? Hey guys, are you worried about 5G radiation? EMFs? Well, I want to tell you about a sponsor of this video. They're patriots and they support the truth. They're called EMF Harmonised and they sell EMF protection technology. The technology filters out the harmful RF waves, radio frequency waves, and has been scientifically proven to do so. It's Tesla technology. As we use computers, phones or tablets to watch any videos or do anything these days, the EMFs are damaging our DNA as we use them. In other words, consider getting some EMF protection from the link below, as you'll protect yourself, you'll help the growth of my channel, and you'll help a fellow truth supporting business, and it's very easy to shop by. They have phone strips and computer strips and laptop and personal relief discs. There's quite a few things in here, guys, so if you're interested, please have a look, and the link will be down below. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, there's a lot to unpack here today. It is not over yet. Everything you're seeing is more exposing. Okay, I'm just going to read this one from N1 Nasty One. I know that I'm not the only one that feels a bit deflated today. Many have been here from the beginning, and it's been a tough, long and lonely road for many of us. But now more than ever, we need to stick together and pick each other up, united, not divided. Okay, and I'm going to go to my bookmarks because... Oh, what was that? Hang on. Okay, I'm going to ignore that for now because I've got a lot of things to tell you about what is happening right now. Okay. Events for this week can be found in the posts. If you haven't read them, you need to. This was the plan all along. What has happened is you are watching tech, media, and the Dems try to steal the election. Anyone who has their eyes open and looks at Trump rallies and the Biden rallies knows that Trump is actually a lot more popular than Biden is. And a lot of the reason, look, I don't think they necessarily like Biden. I just think they're anti-Trumpers who are just to not vote for Trump. They'll vote for Biden. Okay, but with what's happening right now is everybody who's doing this, including the media, are being exposed for what they are. And I'm talking the media here, the media in the UK, everyone who's hearing that Biden has won. No, he hasn't. I'll just tell you a few things. It's up to you to decide what you believe. But I don't think there's any need to panic at all. I think we are where we should be. And this from CJ Truth. If you need encouragement today, stop watching the fake news media and go through, well, Twitter. I'm finding more information on Twitter than I would on anywhere near the mainstream media. You'll find a ton of encouragement there. God has put me for such a time as this. I'm here to serve him. I'm here to help you through this. God loves you and God won. Okay, this bit. Loaded with truth. Okay, y'all, if this is true, it would be planetary size boom. Do you remember Watch the Water? Does anyone remember Watch California? Or Watch New York? Okay, Watch the Water. Real ballots being counted now by National Guard. The real ones have a secret watermark. So... what happened last night, or the night before, I don't know how, it was last night in my time, was that they stopped counting votes at about 11 o'clock. And it was the 6 states that were Democrat-controlled. And the reason they stopped counting the votes is because they could see Trump was winning. So they stopped. Now, miraculously, overnight, they found just enough mail-in votes for Biden to be equal with Trump or winning, okay? Little do they know, Where did those ballots come from that the Dems sent out? Do you know how many other countries are involved in this? Do you know China's involved in this? Do you know possibly Australia and the UK and Canada and God knows where else is involved in this? Okay, anyway, let's continue. 3 days, 3 nights. Before any president can legally and optically declare a national emergency to adjourn Congress and potentially invoke the Insurrection Act, there must be overwhelming evidence of treason to support his actions. Gee, I wonder where that justification will come from. The media, big tech, the Dems. This is it. Not only that, if he takes it to the courts, do you know what's going to happen? How do you present evidence to a court? All of the wrongdoings they've done would come out. I don't think the Dems want to go to court. They will drag this out, and at the last minute they'll either concede or it will go to court, and they will be fully exposed either way. From Sydney Powell. This was 5 hours ago now. Trump 2020 ahead despite clear voter fraud in Michigan due to the tune of at least 138,000 votes for Biden that magically appeared at 4 a.m. And it's funny because if you listen to Trump in the last few days, he already told you 4 a.m. They'll find him. He was telling you. He was sending us messages. That's statistically impossible. They're cheating. NC and GA and Alaska should have been called for Trump. Fraud at the very least. Do not panic. No matter what the TV tells you, please turn the bloody thing off. TV is going to rot your brain. And I think everyone's just about to find that out too. Everyone's going to find out the media are lying. And also with tech, how they're doing it is they're just censoring. Like, okay, if Trump claims a win, they'll censor him. But if Biden claims a win, they'll leave that alone. Don't you worry. Okay. From Reagan Battalion. Wait, so they have results and have just been sitting on them? 8 News now, this was 5 hours ago, just in. Instead of delaying releasing results until tomorrow, Nevada officials will release more results later today due to the high interest in how Nevada voted. So they may have been sitting on it. And then this from Sarah A. Carter. Arizona AG opens probe into voter Sharpie complaints in Maricopa County because you're supposed to use a ballpoint pen and they were given Sharpies, which voids the vote. So don't worry, no matter how this looks, this whole thing is going to be dumped on its head shortly. Tom Fitton. Do the actual election results help you recognise how you are conditioned to expect a different result by big tech and left media propaganda? Disturbing, isn't it? And again from Tom Fitton, it's not normal for multiple states or even one state to be counting presidential votes for days after the election. It is without precedent in modern American history and it raises significant statutory and constitutional concerns. Every other election's been called on the day. And they stopped voting in the 6 Democrat states last night because I guarantee you they saw that Trump was winning. I've also seen footage where some guy was opening the ballots from the mail, checking them and throwing some in the bin. And you can only guess which side that was. Like which side was thrown in the bin. It won't be a Democrat, put it that way. Okay. I would not be surprised if from 3 days, 3 nights, I would not be surprised if media and big tech claims Biden won the election. That would create the perfect storm. Don't be surprised. That's how they're all going to go. If that happens, they will all go down. From General Flynn is innocent with a little thumbs up from B. Trump has actually won. The voting and the MSM have been fixed. The truth will come out. Okay, and yesterday, when voting started and it looked like Trump was ahead, the Chinese yuan started tanking. When Trump takes the lead, you know, the Communist Party owns Joe Biden. President Xi's investment into the Biden crime family is tanking. 10% to the big guy was a bad bet. This one from CJ Truth. Remember, we're watching a movie. You'll like the ending of this movie. And I think it's not going to be long. We won't be hanging on for weeks and weeks. It's not going to happen. It'll be dealt with pretty swiftly, I do believe. And the board even said it'll be dealt with swiftly. And any trouble that comes afterwards will also be dealt with very swiftly. Okay, this from Swim Mum. Excellent point here. This is what you need to show your friends and family who are freaking out, okay? A summary of what's going on. This is not from the board, it's one of the anons. 1. There is a coup. We're in the first stages. 2. It begins by fraud in the election, attempt to litigate and delegitimise our current form of government. 3. Governments are delegitimised by A. Corrupt legislators, B. Bureaucrats going too far without punishment or undermining limitations in the law, and C. A judicial system that appears to be broken. Also, Amy Coney Barrett was put in right before this happened. Do not worry. Number 4, if those things don't work, then the government must be broken, right? 5, a coup like this wouldn't be accomplished by the insiders alone. It really helps when the media lies and confuses you, which is what they're doing right now. 6, by the way, it also really helps a coup if there are people to help make it happen. Outsiders, really rich outsiders, because coups cost money. Really rich people who've made it clear they want to control America. Do such people exist? Yeah. They want to control the whole world too. 7, and when you're going to do this coup, wouldn't you have to be constantly attacking the legitimately elected president? 8, it would be especially useful to really pull at this at election time, wouldn't it? Does this sound like anything the president has told you is going on? Number 9, so what would come of delegitimising governments? Nothing, as long as there wasn't an attempted armed insurrection against the legal authorities, would there? 10, so if we're really going to have a coup, you'd want America divided and confused and violent so things can get out of control. You are here. Welcome to Psychological Warfare 101. And what if I told you that the president has a plan to deal with it? Because the US military is smarter than you think, and it's got a metric ton of good guys where it counts. I'm just not going to swear, guys, because some people have kids. We call them white hats. They're grateful. Be grateful they're out there. Sorry, they're grateful. We're grateful they're out there. So, I would not worry. And look at what they did in the poll watch. They locked the poll watchers. They blocked the windows out so the poll watchers can't watch the polls being tallied. So that's corruption if you've ever seen it. They just started boarding up all the windows. You are supposed to be there is supposed to be election watchers, poll watchers. Okay. That was from, who was that from? J Chain. B and Frill. Hang on, I can't read that. I don't want to get it wrong. BT founder. Okay. Is there a reason why Michigan's election website has Trump winning? These are myelections.us, MI election. I think the state's election results site is much more correct than what the Associated Press and other media companies are reporting. Who's in the lead? I think if you go to the actual proper websites, you'll find out who's winning. And the media are outright lying to everybody, including here in Australia. They think Biden's won. They honestly think he's won. So, wait for it, because when they find out, oh, they're going to be upset. Oh, they are going to be so upset. Okay. From Sydney Powell, this was 17 hours ago. What? The Virginia vote counters have decided to call it a night, and get this. They took the uncounted ballots home with them. Of course they won't be doing anything nefarious in the privacy of their homes where no one can stop them, would they? Not at all. Oh, I'm laughing, guys, because this is like a massive joke. Like, and it's so obvious that if normal people can't see it by now, I'm sorry, but they're really gone. They're really that far gone, because it's that obvious that I'm getting people telling me. People that aren't into any of this stuff. People that used to call me conspiracy theorist. They're now telling me it's rigged. And I'm saying I know. So, guys, honestly, they're going to react badly because of and it's the media's fault. The media and big tech are at fault for all of this. They have made these people think that that Biden's winning and he's gonna win, and wait till they find out he's lost. Because as I said, I think that they will try and avoid the court and they will concede at the last minute. This one from Benjamin Martin. Judicial Watch finds 1.8 million ghost voters in 29 states. In other words, the registration rates of those counties exceed 100% of the eligible voters. Now, how is that possible? You tell me. Because what I think is, as I said, other countries have sent ballots in through the mail. That's how they can cheat by mail. And now they've counted over 100% of the people. It's gone into, last I heard, which was a few hours ago, 104% of people of one state had voted. How do you get 104%? You understand? So with the watermark being on the ballots and then these other countries trying to infiltrate and send ballots through, which obviously would favour the Democrats, yeah, they're going to be checked. I think there's going to be a big recount, possibly. Also because of the Sharpie incident, because you're not allowed to fill a ballot in with a felt tip pen. It has to be a ballpoint pen. Otherwise it goes through the ballot. It goes straight through, and they're just not counted. They're rejected. And this one from Mother Hubbard. What on earth? I'm just going to say what on earth, because as I said, there are kids, and I know it's just like that other word, but it's not that bad. But, you know, when you've got little kids, you understand. You don't want them saying any of those words. What on earth? Unidentified civilian is filmed taking official ballot box away from Philly polling place and stuffing it in his car. And like I said, guys, I saw people opening up the ballot votes and throwing them in the bin. And it was on TV. It was in the background. Oh my goodness. So I don't know how people are missing. Look, honestly, if people can't see by now, well, yeah, if people still believe the TV, I mean, they're the main people, well then I think they're going to be the biggest shocked people that are going to freak out. Okay, from Vincent Kennedy. 21-4 gave full details. No decode surprised. Why surprised? Powerful people. Needs to be airtight for that. Need access, need discovery, need hard evidence. It takes faith. You can't get justice by doing what they did to Trump in 2016. It needs to be done different. And so this is how they're trying it. And I think that all that's happening right now, do you not think all the security departments of the US government under Trump's control are not watching this? They know exactly what's going on. And they can see it. And they're letting these people hang themselves for it. It's going to be so obvious that that's why when they say the people are going to be pushed to the precipice. But it's funny, a lot of people are panicking and I'm not. And I'm also hearing people who are freaking out about maybe China not buying our stuff anymore. Don't worry. It's more for us and it's going to bring the prices down. China don't need our meat. And it's going to, look, Our lamb was like $100 per kilo at one point. And that we grow it here, but somehow we get it packaged somewhere else and sent back. And so what Australia was doing was selling China its goods and then buying them back off China. How does that make any sense? That's because they took manufacturing away. That's all going to come back. And good that China doesn't want any of our stuff, because there is more for the people. When there is more for the people, it costs less. So please don't freak out about China not buying our stuff. It is the best thing that could happen to us. Oops, someone sent me a message. Okay. Dano says, oh, lucky I looked at that. I just got a message. Glamis Calling has just made a post. Okay, hang on. Guys, taking a sidetrack here. Sorry about this. I need to have a look at this. Oh, here we go. My dear ones in the United States, I am posting this as a general response to a multitude of messages coming from patriots in the US, requesting assistance in what is a turbulent and very difficult time. First, know that my heart and prayers are with you. With this post, I send my heartfelt love and support, for I feel as you feel. The trouble within your soul resonates across all frequencies, and is my most fervent desire to send you hope and comfort. You are not alone. Many who have written have asked that we intervene. Save us is a common refrain that arises from the messages left in the comment section of this blog. In many ways, I wish it were possible to intervene and crush the enemies of freedom. But it is precisely because of your freedom that I cannot. I'll try to explain, so please bear with me as I fumble through what is truthfully a very complex issue. It's not just a legal issue, it's a spiritual issue that involves, well, family, yours and mine. We have a unique relationship with the US due to our shared history. It's a deep history that extends to a time much earlier than your American Revolution. I know I'm using a highly charged term here, but those who seek will understand. I'm speaking of the ancient bloodlines that bind the people of the United States, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and Northern Ireland. Now, I, of all people, am well aware that the term ancient bloodlines conjures up the worst possible images of the Illuminati, reptilian despots, bent on world domination, or families that share a demonic entity as a common progenitor. I can't read it. Shivers. Okay. Progenitor. Okay. That is not what ancient bloodline really means. I speak plainly to you and tell you that these negative images are a perversion of our sacred, shared and very ancient bloodlines, yours and mine. We must reclaim that term and use it openly. For the last 200 or 300 years, there have been many authors who've written, or caused to be written, stories about malignant characters who are related by blood, and who work in secret to bring about the enslavement of the common man. These authors have written these things for the specific purpose of distracting you from the fact that we are quite literally family. You've probably heard that most of the past presidents of the United States have been related to one another. I believe Martin Van Buren is usually noted as the exemption to this rule. While that's true, there's much, much more to the story, and it's a story that prevents us from interfering in your political matters. A brief history of us. Your ancestors founded a new branch of our family when they set out across the Atlantic to settle in what would become the United States of America. Whether they were part of the great Puritan migration whose pioneers settled in present-day New England, or whether they were settlers who granted land in the northern neck of Virginia, most of them ultimately descended from the great families. George Washington's ancestors were cousins of Diana Spencer's ancestors, and they lived on neighbouring farms. At Althorp, the family seat of the Spencer family and the current home of Charles, the 9th Earl Spencer, there's a lovely piece of furniture called the Washington chest, which was a gift from the Washingtons to their cousins, the Spencers. This post isn't about famous people or presidents, though. Unbeknownst to many Americans, their pioneer ancestors were carrying on bloodlines that can be traced back to the time William the Conqueror arrived in England in 1066. Many of your ancestors travelled on William's warships on a journey from Normandy to Hastings. Mine did too. Our ancestors fought alongside William and were awarded land and titles in the aftermath of the conquest. We are not machines. We are eternal beings with a soul, and we are spiritually connected to one another. Families share a bloodline connection, which up to a point can be measured by DNA tests, and also a spiritual connection, which our current science cannot yet measure. I told you this was a complex issue, and I must admit, one that I find difficult to articulate. I can feel it, and I can see some of it. I can convey to you the image of an extended spider web made of spiritual DNA that connects us. When one member vibrates, so do the others. When your ancestors crossed the Atlantic, they extended the spiritual web of our family. Though our shores may be miles apart, they are eternally connected by mystic cords of memory. I humbly borrow the phrase from one of my heroes. If we go deeper into the story, we feel the resonance of God's intention to send people to found a nation based on his principles. I admit at this point of the story I begin to lose my sight. For I'm not a prophet, and I cannot pretend to know the will of God. I can only tell you what I intuitively feel within me, and I believe in the core of my being that the Almighty inspired the migrations from my shores to yours. He inspired your founders. No one can destroy from the outside what God has given as a gift, and for that reason, I have hope that we will recover from the current setback. So what does this mean for WGC's relationship to the US? The Wetton Council, what do you call it? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Okay, in times past, global actors working from the council, over which I now preside, enjoyed almost unfettered access and influence to social, economic and political affairs in the US, just as they had in many other countries throughout the world. When I was elected to the position of Director General, I authored new rules for the Council, and many of these rules are informed by an understanding of our shared history, both spiritual and temporal. Put simply, the House of Wetton is bound by certain inviolable rules, and the foremost of these rules is that we must respect the sovereignty of the United States. The World Governing Council is forbidden by its own chapter from taking any action within the US or any of its territories. As I am the author of this particular rule, I find myself caught in my own trap, but I hope that the rule was implemented to protect a sacred bond. When we encounter enemies of freedom in areas outside of the US, when we have influence, we exercise it with enthusiasm. But when dealing with your citizens, we must always err on the side of respect, and dare I say even reverence. Some of you have noted that my missive to the SCOTUS in February 2018 has a tone much different than many of the other posts in this blog. And I've asked why we approached your law lords differently than we've communicated with in other world leaders. It is specifically because of the unique relationship. In closing, I feel the hurt that you feel, and I share your worries. I also shed tears at this time, but I know you have endured much worse than this, and I promise it will pass. You will know great joy, for there is something that works within you that cannot be usurped. I have faith that God is with you always. You must never forget that those who voted against you are also of God's creation. In the same way that you struggle with living in a divided nation, they also struggle, and in time they will grow and learn. We cannot hate a child because she doesn't understand. And even in our hurt and anger, we're not supposed to hate our enemies. So I'm urging you to love. I hear the gears working in your heads, and you are correct. I'm aware of my reputation precedes me, and I'm guilty of past deeds of great wrath. But through those who have been a light unto me, I do try to be better. As always, I send you my love and heartfelt affection. Ever yours, Somerset. If you don't know who this is, go back into some of my videos and you'll find Glamis calling or Glamis calling. It's spelt like Glamis calling, but it's pronounced Glamis calling. And apparently these people, let me see. Begin posting and expect impact. All shall awaken. And what I think has happened is, see, these people were always in control, but I think whoever was under her or whoever had the job before her just let them run wild. But yeah, it's up to you. You make your mind up, but whether this is part of the movement, the posting on the other board. It also did say, where was it? There was one post that had Scott Morrison in it. And it said that he would become Prime Minister. Okay, so we'll go back to Twitter again. Oh, this is going to be a bit of a video, isn't it? It's going to have everything in it. Okay, we're still past that. We're past that. I think we're nearly at the end. I think this was it. Makes you think, doesn't it? The National Guard was deployed to 12 states to help with the election. Look which states. Did we run a sting and had a secret third-party audit counting the whole time? Do you believe in coincidences? This is what I mean. This is going to be shut down very quickly, guys. Please don't panic. Okay. From Dano, Snarkish Dano, first thoughts. If you want to know what's really going on, Newsmax, end of story, dump Fox now, because they turned on him. Fox News, Fox, other than Carlton and that, but Fox itself were worse than CNN yesterday with the election. Secondly, relax and stay calm. We know that the win will be called falsely by Blue. Let them. We know it's coming. It's part of the plan. CB, Amy Coney Barrett was installed just in the nick of time. Can you say military precision? I knew you could. Patriots are in control, and this is obviously needed to wake more normies. We had the same feeling in 2018, and we squeaked by with exactly what we needed. Same here. So sit back, know you did your part, and enjoy the movie. More red pilling of normies come in at rapid pace. I will add this. 5D chess. Antifa exposed themselves completely, for nothing. No victory speech tonight at all, so no riots. Deep State exposed all of themselves with hammer, and other election interferences. All watched closely by the NSA and documented for trial. All complicit politicians are visible for the world to see, literally the world. When the malfeasance is shown, there will be no doubt. And there it is. POTUS fires the first shot in the legal battle to come. Batten down the hatches, it's going to get bumpy again. Oh, and by the way, Pennsylvania, it's the keystone. And two more things to see, no. Add it all up. Virus, riots, fires, the why. There's a video link in there. Make no mistake, they will not concede on election night. Make no mistake, they will contest this legally in battleground states. Make no mistake, they will project doubt in the election results. Make no mistake, they will organise massive riots and attempt anarchy. Dash 99 design. Playbook is already known. They have it all. C19 narrative kill date, election day +1. Prepare for 0-day massive cyber power attacks, attempts on 11/4. They could do it at any time. Just because the date has passed does not mean they won't do it. Be ready for chaos via net tomorrow. No one knows for sure, but this could be the start of the 10 days. Dark. We don't know. Then this from Ricky Wilde. New South Wales police officer exposes the lies in statistical analysis and testing of the virus. Keep this information. It may be useful if you get arrested or by overhanded police tactics to stop you from living in your freedom. So all these links will be either in the description or in the comments down below. I'm trying not to get kicked off, so I try to wait until I've uploaded the video and then put it in the pinned comment, because when you're uploading, they tend to go through your video. I've noticed. Okay. This from Lady Canuck. Huawei's global VP of corporate communications dies suddenly in China. Why do you think? They were the ones with the dangerous 5G. Do you see it yet? Oh, I'll continue for free. How do I get... There you go. Oh, I'm not signing up the email. They'll send me all sorts of things. Oh, hang on, it's the epoch times. I might do it later, but I'm not going to do it right now. But that will be linked down below anyway. And from, yeah, I did read that yesterday. Okay. So that'll do it for today. We've got a bit of everything. We've got a bit of, oh, look at this. Election results live. Okay, I'm going to go and watch them. Oh, this is going to be funny, guys. And trending in Australia, Trump meltdown, what? Yeah, right, whatever. I'm not having a meltdown, are you? Okay, anyway. Keep your head up, guys. It's not over yet. And as soon as the US is sorted out, the rest of us will be. Just hang in there. We haven't got long to go now. We've been hanging on for this long. Just hang in there a little longer with me, guys. Okay, and that's it for today, so I'll let you go. Take care. Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, guys. Bye.